Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Tamara Nesterova. I'm Cloud and AI Solution Specialist here at Microsoft. Today we're here to explore Agentic AI journey of KPN, the largest telco provider in the Netherlands. My guests today are Martin Kirillov from KPN and Remko Broski from Microsoft. So without further ado, let's start. Martin, can you tell me more about yourself, your background, and your role with KPN?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me, first of all. Really excited. My name is Martin Kirillov, originally from Bulgaria, but I'm living in the Netherlands for the last 7 years. So my background is in data science and computer science, and I've been on this AI journey for quite a while. I actually did my first AI project back in high school 11 years ago. Back then it was no Python even with most of the stuff for AI. I'm working at KPN for 3 years already. My role is tech lead for generative AI. So quite a good timing, I have to say, with riding the AI wave, and I'm really excited with what we've been doing and happy to share part of our journey now.
Super cool, Martin. Great to know you better. And Remko, over to you.
So my name is Remko and I'm a cloud solution architect in our Dutch customer success unit. I've basically been a software engineer all my life, and now combined with cloud and with AI, this is a real exciting time to be a cloud solution architect. And I've been working with KPN for several years on many different projects, but working with Martin over the last 2 years was a really interesting journey. And actually, we're going to explore where we are at today.
I think it was your favorite one, right?
Definitely, yeah. I love cutting edge technology, so yeah, definitely.
Cool. I know that a couple of years ago, KPN started GenAI Lab. Well, actually, if I look at KPN, I would say you are quite an early adopters of AI. Can you tell us more about what GenAI Lab is and why did you start it within your company?
Yeah, definitely. So indeed, our GenAI Lab started around 2 years ago, but AI is nothing new for us. So KPN has been doing AI for, I would say, around 10 years or something. We started experimenting with generative AI, what we call now, I think 2.5 years ago, when Azure made Azure OpenAI available for its enterprise customers. So we could actually try out the GPT models in a safe environment. We had a lot of ideas for different use cases. We started playing around with the models and thinking how we can plug them into existing pipelines or use cases, and thinking about new possibilities. So we collected a bunch of ideas from different parts of the business, and in July, I think 2 years ago, we formally started the lab with a couple of people and the sponsorship of our director, Winifred. And the idea was to indeed experiment with this new technology, try it out, try to build things quickly, learn, and then spread the knowledge towards the rest of the organization. And that's really also the goal of our whole department. So we are the AI Excellence Center, so we try to always bring the cutting edge of AI, get the knowledge, try out things, and then bring things to production and help others within KPN to do that as well.
Yeah, and I can imagine that a lot of things have changed since 2 years ago. Yeah. So what did change in the GenAI Lab and how does it look now?
Yeah, definitely. So that's we changed a lot, we learned a lot. So in the beginning we were working basically on end-to-end use cases. So also everyone was very excited about the new technology. We had data scientists, analysts, building chatbots, building RAG, all kinds of stuff. Eventually we figured that's not very scalable because you can't really build end-to-end with a couple of people. So we started focusing a little bit more on, let's say, the platform experience and just enabling others within KPN to build their GenAI use cases. So for example, we built a lot of stuff on Azure. Remko can tell a little bit more about that. We have a GenAI gateway set up, so we can centralize the usage and management of LLMs. That is being widely used now. We have more than 30 use cases that are using our gateway. We've built a standard RAG solution with standard evaluation frameworks and all kinds of other stuff.
Remco?
Maybe Remco can share a bit.
Yeah, so it's really interesting because we onboarded pretty early in that journey. We already saw in the beginning that just implementing use cases is not going to scale at the pace that KPN actually was expecting. So we really engaged on how to build a platform out of this and how to build an enablement team to be able to share knowledge, but also have a centralized governance around models, about quota, about all the things that you need to create a GenAI solution. So that's what we worked on, I think, for 6 months to get that platform really up and running, to be able to onboard other teams easy, but in a controlled way, right? And I think that's kind of the, let's say, the center of the GenAI Lab now, which has still a lot of knowledge and still is doing experiments, which is good. But there's also a really stable factor that's just there that other teams can actually leverage to build their own stuff.
Yeah, I can see that it's evolved a lot in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, and especially for our audience, it would be very interesting to learn about the use cases that you were able to implement in production in KPN.
Yeah.
And maybe even more interesting to learn about the challenges that you faced on the way while developing those use cases.
Yeah.
Is it something that you can share?
Definitely, yeah. Of course, I cannot share about everything, but we have some really nice use cases that we're also really proud of. So, for example, we built a chatbot called Janneke for our customer service experts. So, yeah, of course, we always think of the customer first and how to improve the customer experience, but also how to improve things for ourselves internally. So I really like this use case because it's essentially a chatbot for our experts in the call center, so that when they're on the phone with a customer that has some kind of problems, our experts can quickly look things up using the chatbot to assist them in finding the problem and assisting our customer. So this is already in production, and a lot of our experts in the call center are using it. It's built on the RAC architecture, so it's using a knowledge base with our internal articles on various things. And it really streamlines the process of basically helping a customer. We did a bunch of pilots, we did a bunch of studies, so also our agents are less stressed and they really like the tool, but it also impacts the way we help our customers. So this is one of the flagship projects. Of course, yeah, GenAI is not only about chatbots, we built a bunch of these, but it's also about improving existing solutions. For example, we are analyzing our customer feedback using GenAI and large language models. We built things with images, for example, generating alt text for our website and so on and so on. So the possibilities are endless. Yeah.
Yeah, super cool. Any challenges that you faced?
Definitely.
Anything that you can share?
So yeah, we are mostly nerds here, and we first think of the technical challenges, and of course there are some. So like Remco mentioned, serving these LLMs at scale in an enterprise setup is not an easy job. But I have to say that actually the main challenges are more with the adoption and getting the business on board, getting the people to understand how these things work and so on. So there's definitely a bit of a hype going on. You see that online. And now everyone all of a sudden wants to do AI. But not everyone understands how to implement AI in production and what comes with that. So you need to have proper monitoring, you need to have proper governance, you need to have proper evaluation to make sure that the models are not hallucinating, etc., etc. So we are really trying to get the business on board. You really need to have good sponsorship from the different stakeholders in order to deliver something from a POC phase to production. So,
yeah, well, thanks for mentioning that, and I think that AI governance and AI security is indeed top of mind for many and many organizations, and it's becoming even more top of mind day by day. Well, AI has been a buzzword, definitely, for a few years, but it feels like now Agentic AI is taking the main stage. Can you maybe tell more, and Remco, looking at you, in generic terms for our audience, what is Agentic AI and why everybody is talking about Agentic AI nowadays?
Yeah, definitely. So it is a buzzword, but I think it's a buzzword that's here to stay. Because agents, and I really compare Agentic AI or agents with kind of the microservices in, say, normal software architectures. Because agents are kind of autonomous, they have a specific skill, and it makes it really easy to kind of orchestrate a bunch of agents that have specific skills, which is way easier than trying to figure out one big solution that does it all, right? So it gives you a really interesting new architecture style where you can actually hand off specific tasks to specific agents that are capable of doing that job. Technology is moving really, really fast, right? So when we looked a year ago, our agents were, well, kind of working, but not 100% yet. But then the Model Context Protocol came along, so that really helps on integration patterns and how to provide LLMs with, context that is really relevant. And now the A2A, so the agent-to-agent protocol, is also, well, taking a little bit of a flight, which will also make it possible for agents to talk to each other. And these emerging technologies, I think they're really here to stay because they solve a lot of the orchestration issues we had, say, a year ago. And now they are really working and they're really able to build end-to-end use cases and having very different agents all working together. So I think that's kind of what Agentic AI is and should be.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Remco. It definitely explains the value of Agentic AI, and looking at the future, I expect there will be more and more organizations jumping on Agentic AI journey. And as KPN was quite an early adopter of AI in general, or also generative AI, I know that you already started with Agentic AI as well some time ago. Can you share a bit more about your plans with Agentic AI and where are you in your journey? How did you start with that?
Yeah, certainly. So indeed, it's the idea of the team is to explore all the new technologies, and we did start experimenting with Agentic AI a few months ago. So we wanted to try all the different frameworks, MCP, things like that. And we had a really nice opportunity to work with you guys on a code with engagement. So I think Remco can explain that a little bit better. But before we get into that, so we already actually have one agent live. So the Janneke chatbot I mentioned, we moved it to an Agentic implementation. And that is really exciting because now you can see that it has some autonomy into the decisions it's making. But it's also a pretty safe use case to experiment with the technology and see how it behaves in production.
You mentioned CodeWiz. What is it exactly, Remco?
Yeah, so CodeWiz is a pretty cool engagement model that we have from Microsoft, where we, with a couple of CSAs, work together with the development team of the customer, in this case KPN, where we really co-create and try to figure out how to implement a use case. And the goal is actually to really try to implement it in 2 to 3 weeks. So we also call it a pressure cooker, which most of our customers really like because, yeah, we need some dedication from the customer side. So trying to not get caught up in all kinds of other operational stuff, but really focus on making this work, right? And that really works well. So with KPN, we did a code with and built a use case and eventually a demo that showed that use case worked completely with agents and stuff. Yeah, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, great to hear. And I guess you also had some learnings while doing this engagement, maybe from both sides, I guess, right? So
definitely.
Let me start with you, Martin.
Sure.
And you can speak for on behalf of the whole team, I guess.
Definitely, yeah.
Was there multiple people involved in the CodeWiz engagement?
Yes, so on our side, I think we were like 4 people, maybe 5, but 4 people like hands-on for a couple of weeks. Of course, we learned a lot about the technology, but it was also fun to work with, like, as Remco said, in a pressure cooker setting, basically forming a new team, figuring out how to work together and all that stuff. For a few weeks, it's a big challenge. So we learned a lot about working together. But in terms of the Agentic things, I think we learned a few main things. So the first thing is, it's a really exciting technology and things are going really fast. We tried out semantic kernel. It's a great framework, but we also noticed that there are some challenges with really bringing it to production. So we are actively monitoring the development, and I think Microsoft is doing a good job of putting things open source, and then getting contributions from the whole community. Another thing that we really wanted to try out is at least one of the protocols. So we actually built a bunch of MCP servers, and that worked amazingly well. So really happy with that. And I think the last thing is it's really important how you architect your agentic solution. So indeed, we're in a bit of a hype, and everyone thinks they can solve everything with agentic AI, but that's not necessarily the case. I think it's really important to focus on what is your orchestration pattern, how do you want to build your agents, what level of autonomy do you want to give them, because there's a big trade-off between risk and value and so on. So these are main learnings from our side, but overall we were extremely happy. Yeah. Maybe Remco?
Yeah, definitely. So we as CSAs are supposed to be the front runners on this type of technology. So we experiment a lot as well, and we try to keep up and learn and build stuff. But putting that in a real customer context, in a real world scenario, that's kind of a challenge as well sometimes. And as Martin said, it really also depends a little bit on the use case, because we have a lot of different ways of orchestrating agents, and one type of orchestration works better for a use case than others. So it's also really a learning for us to see, okay, on what type of use cases, what kind of technology, but definitely orchestration patterns would really fit to suit this use case and to make it work. And yeah, you can have all the knowledge in the world, but you still have to do it in practice, right? If it's just theory, yeah, it's nice. But if you see it working, then it's even nicer, right? That's what we strive for. So yeah, definitely learn that with our team as well.
Yeah, and I think it's an example of working together and solving the challenges on the way. And yeah, what you mentioned about the team, it's completely different, but it's so important on any project, and especially on a project as well.
Definitely.
You started with a GenAI Lab more than 2 years ago. There have been a lot of changes on the way. I guess also the team grew quite significantly. You started with Agentic AI. What are the main learnings that you can share with the audience on GenAI Lab journey that maybe other organizations or people listening can take into account when they're bringing AI within their organization?
Yeah, certainly. So what we did right, I think, is really start with thinking about the value from the beginning when you think about use cases and what you want to implement. So what I would advise, especially large organizations, is to really take the business with you, along you on the journey. So from the start, get some support from the business stakeholders, understand the problem, understand the data, and then you're on the set for success. Also don't be afraid to fail. Like, just try out things. Technology is changing every day, so there are new things all the time. Just build stuff and run a pilot, put them live, and see what happens. I mean, you have to try to learn. So stay agile, try out things, and get some alignment and sponsorship from the business, and then you will get some success out. Yeah.
Nice, yeah, totally with you, Martin. Remco, anything to add to that?
Yeah, so I would say architecture is really the foundation, but on top of that, you need to have, let's say, the courage to just experiment and build stuff. Build it, because that's the only way to see if things work and what doesn't work, right? It's good to have that kind of feeling. But I think in the base, you should really think about what will be my foundation on top of which I will build these kind of things. So that means platform, infrastructure underneath, all your network stuff, because this is an enterprise. We also need network security and things like that. Right, and once you have all those elements in place, you can start really experimenting and doing really cool stuff. Definitely.
So I think that building this foundation with a security team, with the infrastructure team, involving the business from the beginning and really showing the value, experimenting a lot. And you'll fail a lot probably, but then it brings you to the use cases which will really make a difference for organization.
Yeah.
That's the key takeaways that at least I have. Well, thanks a lot for joining us on this conversation about Agentic AI at KPN. Special thanks to Martin and Remco. And
You're welcome.
yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I wish you success on your AI journey, and I hope it was inspirational and informational for you as well. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.